Hello and welcome to another video. My name is Boxiest, and today we are going to continue the What If series. What if events had gone differently? And in this What If, we're going to change the history of Cobra Kai. What if Johnny never reopened Cobra Kai? So in this timeline, Johnny would still be fired from his job, and Johnny would go get food. He would see Miguel getting picked on by Kyler, and much like in the original timeline, Johnny would step in and defend Miguel, and Miguel would be impressed by Johnny's abilities, and he would ask Johnny to teach him karate. He would tell Johnny to open up his own karate dojo, but Johnny wouldn't want to do it, but he would still want to teach Miguel to defend himself. So Johnny would still teach Miguel karate in this timeline, but he wouldn't open up Cobra Kai. Johnny would want to find work, but he wouldn't have much luck, and he would consider opening up a new dojo. But before doing so, he would apply to McDonald's, and they would be hiring. So Johnny would get a job at McDonald's, and Johnny would continue training Miguel, but they wouldn't train in a dojo, but just outside their apartments. And Daniel would be running late one day, and he would stop to get food at McDonald's. And Daniel would go in, and he would recognize Johnny. Johnny wouldn't be happy to see Daniel, and this interaction would be very similar to the interaction that Johnny and Daniel had at the dealership in the original timeline. Daniel would be happy to see Johnny there, and he would give Johnny his card, saying if he ever wants a better job, he can always go work at LaRusso Auto. So Daniel would say goodbye. He would tell Johnny that it was nice catching up with him, and the rest of season 1 would still happen. Miguel would stand up for Sam, and Miguel and Sam would start dating. Sam would tell Daniel that she was dating Miguel, and that Miguel did karate, and that he learned it from Johnny, and Daniel would be surprised. So he would go want to talk to Johnny, and he would tell Johnny that he was doing a good thing, helping Miguel, and Daniel would tell Johnny how Mr. Miyagi helped him, and that he was happy that Johnny was doing the same for Miguel, and Johnny's anger for Daniel would slowly disappear, and Johnny would tell Miguel that he should enter the tournament, and he would go with Miguel to see if they could sign up, but Miguel would ask if they were allowed because they weren't a real dojo. But Johnny would tell Miguel that you can compete unaffiliated or even with a dojo with only one student. He would tell Miguel that Daniel and Mr. Miyagi did so in 1984, so Johnny would want to enter as Cobra Kai, but the committee would tell Johnny that Cobra Kai was banned, and Johnny not wanting to deal with this, he would register as Eagle Fang Karate. So Miguel would enter representing Eagle Fang, and they would go buy Miguel a red gi for the tournament. And the night of the tournament, Miguel would start winning his matches, and much like in the original timeline, Miguel would make it to the semifinals, and eventually the finals, where he would have to fight Xander Stone. Miguel would still beat Xander in this timeline. Daniel would go congratulate Johnny and Miguel. Daniel would tell Johnny that his offer was still valid. Johnny and Miguel would go out celebrating. So at the end of season 1, Johnny would go work at LaRusso Auto, and with more money, Johnny would get a better apartment, but he would still stay in contact with Miguel, and he would go visit Robbie. He would want to reconnect with him, but Robbie wouldn't want anything to do with Johnny. But with Robbie pushing Johnny away, this would push Johnny to try to reconnect with Robbie even more, and eventually Robbie would see that Johnny had changed, so he would go by Johnny's new apartment, and Johnny would be happy to see him. This is when Miguel would show up, and Johnny would introduce Miguel to Robbie, and he would explain that he taught private lessons to Miguel, and that he was the All Valley champion, and he would ask Robbie if he would like to learn karate, and at first Robbie would say no, but Johnny would eventually convince him. So Robbie would learn karate from Johnny, and he would be the second student of Eagle Fang, and Johnny wouldn't quit his job at LaRusso Auto, and during his free time, he would teach Miguel and Robbie, and Daniel would occasionally help Johnny teach Miguel and Robbie, and it would be a combination between Eagle Fang Karate and Miyagi-Do, and overall, there would be a lot less conflict in this timeline, and Johnny would start dating Carmen. In a couple years would go by, Johnny would eventually marry Carmen. He would have a great relationship with Robbie, and Miguel would become his stepson. And overall things would be a lot happier in this timeline. And that is where I'm going to end this what if. Thank you guys for watching. What do you guys think would have happened if Johnny never reopened up Cobra Kai? Let me know in the comments below. All members have access to emojis that can be used in comments and live streams. This isn't mandatory. This is only something extra if you want to support the channel even more. YouTube lets me know that the majority of you are not subscribed, so if you guys could subscribe, that would be much appreciated. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like this video, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. And I'll see you guys next time.